the relevant issues. Everything from the sublime to the ridiculous. Making the sublime clear, making the ridiculous make sense. Every Sunday at 12 to 12:30, WMQM, 1600 AM on your radio dial, and the number to call, 901-327-3400, because we have guest speakers who are exciting, interesting, fascinating, knowledgeable, and thought-provoking. The Love Power Show. Listen to the show at radio.com, WMQM 1600 AM, on your YouTube as well. The show can be seen on YouTube. Debating the issues, taking positions, defining and defending those positions, offering analysis and presenting solutions to the problems that African Americans face, and we provide leadership as well. Vox Populi, the voice of the people. And in the studio today, we have Brother Paul Outlaw, homeopathic researcher. And to my right, Brother Jabril Shabazz. And he reminds us of a question that the Honorable Mosiah Garvey asked a long time ago. Where are your schools? Brother Jabril said, he stood up and said, here's one right here. Yes, located at Parkway in Lauderdale. Institute of Learning. Brother Jabril, in the studio with us today. Last but not least in the studio as well, brother, friend, comrade, Dr. Talut El-Amin. And we thank Dr. Isaac Richmond as well for screaming loud and sparing none in rare form. Today, we'll be talking about African Americans as usual, but we'll be talking about building wealth. What is required for African Americans to build wealth? Digest that for a moment. I want to do something before we get started, but let's move with quickness, and I'll do so myself. Public service announcement. You are invited to attend this historic occasion on Saturday, April 5th, 2014. The grassroots people of Memphis will host a grand opening reception program for the campaign headquarters of Dr. Isaac Richmond, candidate for U.S. Congressman from the 9th District, August 7th. Guest speaker for this occasion, Bolivar, Tennessee, Councilwoman Brenda Woods, in exile from her seat on the council by vendetta persecution of DA Mike Donovan in the Hardeman County, state of Tennessee criminal justice system. Dr. Richmond's campaign headquarters are located at 1383 Elvis Presley Boulevard. The campaign grand opening program and network reception will be at 5 p.m. Come out and hear him deliver his historic campaign message titled Defeating the 40-Year Sellout of the 9th Congressional District and the Negative Social, Economic, and Political Impact being suffered by the domination and exploitation of the people of inner city Memphis. For more information, call 901-870-5267. And with quickness, I go to Brother Paul Outlaw. First, to my left. Today we're talking about what is required for African Americans to, should I say acquire wealth, or should I say retain and maintain their wealth? But anyway, we've got the picture. Open it up for us, brother.
Well, first, to maintain wealth is really what we need to look at, because we have the wealth within our community, and we have to build upon that wealth. And I think the first portion of that task that we have to tackle is recognizing the resources that we already have. Today is a day when I had an opportunity, well, actually it was yesterday, I had an opportunity to see two of my comrades in positions that could help the community better. But I've been in this world some 40-something years, and I never knew I had someone that I knew that had the same interests that I had. And that was to build our community, starting off with the children. Directing the actual action towards single parents. And this young lady stood up yesterday and she said something that was just profound. And she was just giving us a brief synopsis of what her background was. And she said that she was in an organization that helps single parents. And their goal was to try to transcend one generation and try to incorporate helping two generations. But that was a system that probably the circle of people that I'm around never heard of, never knew about. And I'm in the process now of trying to actually create an idea of umoja within the natural resources that we have. Because we have organizations and we can try to couple our abilities together to help tackle this cause. But we have natural resources within our people that we need to actually obtain, work together, and try to accomplish some of the goals that we're trying to accomplish with building wealth.
All right, thank you for those comments. Brother Jabril,
Yes, sir.
wealth. What is required for African Americans to build, maintain wealth? We're talking about wealth.
The African American community is going to have to learn just the basics concept of wealth building. And to me, is first of all how to save, not to spend all your revenue into something that you're not going to gain any dividends from. You know, you're not going to gain any kind of advantage from. So if we just learn how to do just that one thing, is to save some money, you know, and then the next step is to, if you can learn how to save some money, then you can learn how to invest some money.
Investment.
Yeah, and then investing your revenue, your savings, then you try your best to put it into something that's gonna serve yourself and your kind, which is your community. You know, if you can get that money invested in community efforts, then that money can circle. We can empower each other from that kind of premise. So I suggest that we learn how to save and we learn how to invest in us.
Okay, very good. Who's on the line? Baruti? This is Alan. Okay, go ahead, Alan. We're talking about wealth, and then we'll try to get Brother Baruti in some kind.
When Louis Farrakhan had the Million Man March, what I'm thinking about, the Million Man March, they came together, put $1 in each man's pocket, you got $1 million. We have to start putting our money in banks. If you can get $1 million, you know, the strength they is, they will come together, this power, economic power, and put $1 in their pocket. Dr. Louis Farrakhan had the right idea, because, you know, his wife never demeaned him. Dr. King, his wife forever never demeaned him. We always talk about coming together. You know, I see a lot of African Americans in Memphis too. You know, we gonna conjugate and we gonna come together, put $1 in every man's pocket and say, what are you gonna do with it? We have to learn how to pool our money.
Okay.
Like insurance companies, banks, and trust each other.
Yeah. Alan, were you at the Million Man March?
No, I was, was that about 96?
Okay.
I just moved to Memphis, so I was accounting and I was at work.
Okay. All right, we've got.
I was young then.
I got you. We understand. Well, we've got.
96, I remember that.
Yeah, we've got Brother Baruti on line 1.
Go ahead, sir.
Let's go to line 1. Brother Baruti, come in.
Yes, sir. Thank you for allowing me to come to my teleconference. This is one of the most important issues in our community today, and actually since we came out of slavery, is the creation of wealth, but not just the creation of wealth, how you maintain the wealth that we create. Right now, even though we have a lot of money going through the community, trillions of dollars, we can't almost zero wealth in the community. When you look back at slavery, we had as an accumulated wealth,
Verona, are you there?
Have him to call back on the other line, if you can.
All right. Go ahead.
Brother, the reason I want you to ask brother, what's his name?
Alan.
Alan, because if Alan hadn't been there, he would have saw the money that was taken up.
Mhm.
It was millions of dollars taken up in the Million Man March.
Okay.
You know, what happened to the money, I don't know. But it was millions.
It's
taken up.
that's a valid question.
I was there, I bear witness.
You bear with it.
Yeah, I was
That
there too.
that's a valid question. I mean, we can have. But let me go to Brother Talut. Put it in perspective for us.
Well, wealth building is not an immediate thing. Okay, it has nothing to do with right now. It's a future thing.
That's right.
It's all about the future. Where is our future? Our future is in our children.
Sure.
Okay, so as adults and parents, you know, we have to teach our children more about wealth generating and how to build wealth and how to hold on to wealth. Okay, it's more than an ideal. It's a fact of nature. It's the law of nature, you know, which is self-preservation.
Sure.
You know, so if you don't preserve yourself, then you have nothing in the future. There's nothing for you in the future. And I think our people are primarily concerned with getting a paycheck, as I said once before, getting a paycheck and spending the money. You know, we reserve our rights to do that. You know, to spend our money however we want to, wherever we want to. and regardless of what the future might hold for us, we're not concerned about that. We're concerned about right now. We think life is right now. Okay, life is, I can purchase me some Nikes right now. I can purchase me a car right now. And while we're thinking like we are on this individual consumerism level, there are people who are thinking about getting to Mars, you know, purchasing tickets to go to the moon. They're trying to get off the earth, and we're preoccupied in what we want to buy right now. So we have totally different ideas about life. Okay, we have a failed idea about life. Life is not right now. Life is the future. Life is like what the bees and the ants do.
Come on now.
See, you're talking about life. They sacrifice their individual lives one by one to make sure that the colony survives. Okay? And they have learned how to manipulate nature in itself for their survival. Okay? Many of us haven't learned how to do that yet. Okay, so we have powerful examples from Almighty God, the creator of everything, as to what we should be doing as a people, or if we are a people, to preserve our lives and preserve our future. And if we're not able to do that, then someone else is going to take our lives away from us, like they're doing right now. Okay, and if you don't have anything to contribute, and you're dying for nothing, and let me be more specific. Our brothers and sisters are dying for nothing, and complain about how other people are dying for something. Other ethnicities are dying for something, warring against each other for something, giving up tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of lives for something.
Okay.
We give up those lives, our lives, for nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
Get nothing in return for them.
Right.
And that is a slap in nature's face to die for nothing. To become old and senile and then die and having contributed nothing
Okay.
to the well-being of your own people. Nothing.
That's a shame.
Right. Well, we've got a couple questions for today. And we invite you to look these words up and give us a call. And the one is, in fact, the definition of wealth. The other one is something that we talked about last week, and that is the definition of home economics. Give us a call and give us those, provide us with those definitions. If you don't, we'll have them for you next week. That's the way we're going to do that educational process. Brother Jabril, how important is sacrificing? I think that would be a flow from what Dr. Talut said. Sacrificing for your children and their future in the acquisition of wealth.
That's right.
Talk to us about that.
That's the way you get it done. making the proper sacrifices, the necessary sacrifice. You know, I like that analogy, brother, to me, because I call it bumblebee ethics. You know, ants ethics. You know, termite ethics. Because shoot, at the center of that, they sacrifice themselves for the queen. Because the queen is the only person in the only element in that colony that can procreate. All the other ants and bumblebees and stuff can't procreate, just the queen. So that's why you go across the field and you bring a June bug across the highway to feed that queen, to make certain that she survives. That's the same thing that we have to do with ourselves, with our children, because they are our future. Now, when it comes to wealth as opposed to rich, or wealth as opposed to what other term you use, wealth, because the difference between wealthy and rich.
Rich and wealth.
You know, you can be rich, flamboyant, driving a convertible Jaguar, big old 30-inch wheels or whatever. You know, that
you can have a rich cup of milk.
Yeah. But you know,
this milk is rich.
Wealth is when you invest that into your prosperity, posterity, and that's the children. The children is the future. So if you invest in them, you can guarantee them a future. Plus, you can guarantee yourself that you don't have to die miserably. You know, because you know, wealth it transcends. What I'm trying to say. Wealth, you build wealth, and you build wealth as you go. You just don't build it for right now. This moment kind of mindset. Because this mindset got to continue on.
Okay.
Dr. Richmond made a beautiful analogy about that wealth thing this morning. I don't know if everybody heard it or not, but it's just in my mind right now. But he made a beautiful analogy about wealth and prosperity and so on. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's
Now,
what you have to do.
Right. Here's a question for all four of us. How important is it for African Americans to consider a couple of small things going forward, Brother Paul? Cutting back on some of these 40 ounces. Cutting back on going to the nail shop, the Koreans, taking them our money and giving it to them, and doing nails in our homes. How important is that? How important is it to scale back on going to the Arab stores and seeing how much money we can save at the end of the week? Does those things sound like a plan going forward? And then Brother Talut expound. Brother Paul, you go first.
Well, it's very important. One of the challenges that we face as a people, and I have to say this because a lot of times we have our answer based on our history.
Hello?
We have been given a lifestyle.
Hold on. Got you on.
And I'm not the only person that knows that when you have a lifestyle, that's the hardest habit to change.
Are you still there?
And because we've been given a lifestyle, we have created our own problems. Because we don't recognize that when we go to these fast food restaurants, it's not because you want it's convenient for you. It has been made convenient for you because you have been placed on a job that gives you an hour. No one thinks about why do every job allot you an hour for lunch?
Some 30 minutes.
Yeah, some 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So that you can
I've been on a couple of them.
Yeah, so you can rush
out
and give them
back.
your money because they are readily available to take your money. And then you come back, barely have a chance to eat and got to go back to work.
And there's something else about that. That's stressful and it's taken away from your life. And that's what we're talking about, is giving our lives up as well. Is that right, Brother Talut?
Well, what we have to realize is that anytime you get a group of mature, single, mature, senior men together to discuss these things about our lives, it's real. It's not a joke. It's real. Okay, and what we are expressing here is the truth. It's a guide by which you can raise your family, you can evolve a society, you can become a powerful people if you pay attention to what is being said.
Great point.
The point about the wealth, and I forgot your point, the question you asked me in my scenario here.
Go for it.
Fine.
Go for it.
Fine.
Go for it.
We both
Well, look, welcome to the club.
And I think it was, is it worth us to stop getting nails done, stop doing these little
Brother
things?
Paul.
We
Thank
have to
you.
be open-minded.
Thank you. And the point is, relevant to what I said earlier, is that one thing is, spending money, as we always have acknowledged, is consumerism, okay? But then, when you bring this in perspective, you're talking about economics.
Yes.
Okay, you're talking about economics. So if you're gonna we're dealing with facets and parts of the financial world of African American people.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to make these transitions. Okay, so if we're gonna make the transitions properly, we're dealing with capitalism, we're dealing with commerce and trade, and we're dealing with economics. So to say or to ask, can we be productive by cutting back on spending money with these other ethnic groups? Okay, I don't think so.
Okay.
Because if we cut back on the spending with them, then where would our level of productivity and commercialism and capitalism come in at, if there is capitalism?
Okay.
Where are we going to, in other words, what are we going to exchange for cutting back with? You understand?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Look, I'm
so
going
you have to replace one thing with something else.
I understand. And that's something that I've been thinking about, and that's something that I get every time I bring that up. And it does call for a plan and a strategy, and I'm going to address that when I come back. Brother Tatum, we've got another call on the line. Come on in.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Fantastic.
Yeah, glad to be able to call in this morning. My boy's kind of low. Oh, it's potentially cold, but I'm enjoying it. I thank God for hearing you all talking about things that have developed us. I've been looking at the fact that even though all of what you all are saying is great and wonderful, and we all know at the same time we got those who sitting in high places that come up against us in every way to try to stop us from succeeding in the way you all are talking about. So with the help of God, I'm looking at being able to do like Mark 13th and 9th chapter, when it said that come up against those of the oppression, even in the churches, and also those sitting in high places. When I'm looking at being able to find next week, there's quite a few young men who are going to be rebuilt at 425 West Eagle. And we're going to pull it together regardless of our gang, affiliation, and all these other things. We're going to pull it together, and once we become large enough, we're going to begin to protest against one of the main things, and that's the immigration reform bill that Obama is supporting. Because if we can get jobs, then we can also develop economically.
Okay. Thank you for your call, Brother Tatum. We've got 6 minutes left. Brother
the
Jabril.
good thing about when you come together, if we can find a common thread, that commonality, those things that we have in common. When you made the question, you said the question about our people going to nail shops and they going to getting
buying 40 ounces.
Yeah, 40 ounces kind of thing. See, we don't have the proper culture intact and in place to guide our people, from the kind of disposition that they're in now. See, the disposition that they're in now is being dictated to them by the dominant culture, not our culture.
Is it coming through the TV?
All of it.
Okay.
That whole medial mechanism, is teaching our people to be the same, the way they are. What we got to do, we got to find a way to break that cycle. And what I mean break that cycle is that we got to teach our people to enhance the beauty in themselves. I mean, nails. It's the first time I ever heard of nails started up about 10 years ago. And these Koreans come in here and set up nail shops, and we march in nail shop with our people. They going in there. I mean, here are people who don't even wash dishes. They're going to the nail shop. You know what I'm saying? You know, what is the reason? I mean, see, our idea of beauty, our idea of what looks good and what's in vogue and this kind of thing have got us trapped. That's what's got us trapped. We got to change our mindset. When we change our mindset, then we can institutionalize a certain kind of structure within the confines of the culture, because our culture is our economics. And our economics is our culture.
Just everybody, look, here's what I hear you saying. Do I hear you saying that African Americans are trapped, and they are trapped primarily mentally, and they are trapped as a result of not adhering to some of these concepts that we give the partial solution to the problem every Sunday when we come on this air? We introduce, like we say, we are true to our theme that we offer. Is that what I hear? Address that. And let me say this. Well, go ahead. I'll come in last. We've got 3 minutes. Okay. We must move with quickness.
Okay, I'm going to make this quick because we have to understand one thing. And the commonality is that we're all in a struggle. And we need to recognize that there is an oppressive entity that's creating this struggle. Now we have to get our people to have an open mind and willingness to change those things. And what Brother Jabril said about our culture, if we can get our people to be open-minded to learn more about themselves, we wouldn't want to wear those nails with all those crazy colors. That's right. We would like ourselves without the nails. We wouldn't want to kill our hair and make it dead and think that dead hair looks good as opposed to our live, vibrant, curly hair. But we have to be open-minded and willing to accept some of the nuances that are inheritably ours.
Okay. Well, I'm not about to tell African American women how to wear their nails. What kind of colors they should have. But I'm saying that if they're doing them at home, that saves money. And I don't think I'm going to have time today, we only have 2 minutes, personally, to address the strategy and the plan going forward about how we save money and then invest the money going forward in appropriate ventures. But I will open up with that next week. Dr. Talut, expound a little bit more on your theme in terms of scaling back on spending money, and I'm going to say it this way, inappropriate places.
Yes, we should never apologize for leadership. I mean, the facts are there. If the fact is we're spending money unwisely, and when we tell the public you're spending your money unwisely, we don't apologize for it.
Okay.
That's right. Okay. If our women are acting or conducting their business in an inappropriate way, we tell them the truth.
Yeah.
Where are they going to get it from?
Well,
I mean, where would they? The question is, where would they get it? They have to get it from us.
Yeah. Well,
we the men, and the men have to be responsible for everything that happens in the black community.
We are all going, I agree.
I'm not talking about you now.
I understand. Look here, I understand, but we're close on time. Now, personally, I like color. I like beautiful things. As long as they're doing nails at home, I kind of like those pretty nails. But if it comes to the point,
always done them at home.
Until a few years ago, right? But when it comes to, if I cut back on taking clothes to the laundry, because no one loves a starched and ironed pair of jeans or shirt more than I do. But I cut back, and I've realized savings. I've realized that I'm able to do some other things that are it's called setting priorities. But now, let me say this. One last thing. Now, I've got a problem with that hair, though. I've really got a problem. I love the beautiful nails, doing them at home. But I've got a problem with the hair and the wigs. And
the tattoos. Another show.
Well, another show. Love power.
We where I come from, love napping. We love that.